to talk about Get Canada Work Permit with Job Offer. Get Canada Work Permit with Job Offer. Hi, my name is Emmanuel. Welcome to Visa Application Masterclass, the home of visa application and international travels. This is the channel where we give you tips and strategies for a successful visa application. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share this video. Also, feel free to DM me on WhatsApp. The link to my WhatsApp is in the description of this video. If you have or if you desire one-on-one consultation, feel free as well to DM me, send me an email, or reach across to me through any of my social media platforms. Now, in this video, I want to talk about Get Canada Work Permit through Job Offer. Now, Canada is one of the topmost and favorite destinations in the world for many visa applicants, especially because of their immigration programs. Canada has some of the most exciting and enticing immigration programs that are currently in demand from people all over the world, because Canada has so structured their immigration programs in a way that you can immigrate legally using any of the various pathways. And I found out by research that Canada has more than 80 pathways. So today I want to talk about the pathway of work permit, the work permit pathway, which is available for many people who might decide to go through that route. The work permit route for Canada is one of the pathways or one of the routes that you can go through to get temporary residence in the first instance, then use it as a basis to be able to apply for your PR, your permanent resident. So how do you go about this work permit? Now, you must understand how the system works, how to go through the pathway to be able to get that your work permit approved. Now, Canada has tons of immigration programs which eventually give you a pathway to permanent resident. And now the work permit program is called Temporary Foreign Worker Program. Temporary Foreign Worker Program, TFWP. Now, a Canadian work permit is a temporary authorization granted to foreign nationals to allow them to work in Canada. Typically, applicants need to have a job offer, and then when you have a job offer, you now proceed, or your employer will proceed to apply for what is called an LMIA, or a Labor Market Impact Assessment. Now, this is very, very critical to the success of your work permit application. First and foremost is that you must have a job offer from an employer in Canada. When you get your job offer letter, then your employer will file for you to get what is called a Labor Market Impact Assessment, LMIA. And what does that mean? In simple terms, or in layman terms, what it simply means is that your employer has to justify that vacancy that is making available to you as a foreign worker does not have a Canadian citizen that can fill that vacant position. So by Canadian law, the employer has to actually advertise the vacancy for a period of 30 days minimum, during which he will try to see if there are Canadian workers who are interested in that vacancy. Now, if there's no Canadian worker interested in that vacancy, then that Canadian employer can proceed to employ a qualified foreign worker. And then the Canadian employer must request for what is called the Labor Market Impact Assessment, LMIA. And then the employer has to file. Please note, it is only the employer that can file for an LMIA in Canada. And once the employer gets an LMIA, then with your LMIA and your job offer, you can then apply to IRCC for your work permit. So you can apply, but you must have your job offer letter and your LMIA, or if the employer has what is called a pre-approved LMIA, that is for that vacant position, the LMIA has already been approved, then you can also proceed with that. So you need your job offer letter with your LMIA for you to be able to file your work permit to IRCC. But I just want to take you through the steps in this video to help you on how you can begin to put yourself together to apply for your work permit. Now, understand that this kind of work permit is helpful and is available especially to people that you can classify as low-wage workers. Do you understand? In the occupational code system of Canada, we can call them low-wage workers. These could be like hairstylists or hairdressers. So this kind of work permit is suitable for what we call low-wage workers in Canada. It could be a hairstylist or a nail technician, a makeup artist, or whether you are a cook or a chef, you are a stonemason, you are a landscaper. These kinds of occupations where the minimum requirement is a secondary school certificate with at least 2 or 3 years work experience is suitable for the Canadian work permit. So if you find yourself in this kind of skill set or this kind of occupations and you have the minimum qualification, of course the minimum qualification, like I said, is a secondary school graduation certificate with at least some level of experience, maybe 2 years experience, and then of course you need to do IELTS with at least a 5-point score in IELTS, then you might be eligible for this work permit. But of course, if you are above that classification, maybe you are a graduate, then you could begin to put yourself together to enter into the express entry pool, whereby you can file or apply for your PR directly. But my focus in this video is especially on those skill sets and those skilled occupations whereby you can be able to get a job in Canada with a minimum requirement of a secondary school certificate. So if you find yourself in that category and you have any of those skills, you may begin to put yourself together for a work permit. So I want to show you and take you through the steps in this video of how you can go about it. So steps to getting a Canadian work permit. Now, the first thing you must do is you must prepare your resume in Canadian style. Prepare your resume in Canadian style. Now, before you begin to launch out to apply for jobs in Canada, you need to have your resume ready. And you must understand that Canada has a style or a template for their resume. So you can search on Google, type Canada resume format, and you can get that in Google. Prepare your resume in Canadian style with your contacts, your emails, and all of that. Some recruiters who recruit for Canadian employers may also require you to do a video showing you in that activity that you say you do. Maybe you are a chef or a cook or a landscaper or a mason. You can do a video and showing you are engaged in that activity, and then you can also include your pictures, photos of you in that activity along with your resume. Then you can begin to apply for a Canadian job. The second step you must take is you must search actively in the job boards. Now, Canada has what is called a job board, and I'm going to put the link to the job board in the description of this video. You can go to the job boards where you will see a lot of employers posting their vacancies, and then you would also see even the provinces in Canada also posting vacancies. You can apply directly to the provinces, or you can apply directly to employers if you meet the requirements, but you just have to check the requirement to be specified. For some job vacancies, the employers will say you must already be in Canada, and some would say you must be within a certain location or a certain province in Canada. Do you understand? But for some job vacancies, international workers can apply directly, and some of those jobs even come with pre-approved LMIA. So if you're selected by the employer, you get your LMIA with your job offer letter, then you can apply to IRCC for your work permit. So you need to start searching actively in the job boards for your job offers, and I'm going to put the link to the Canadian Job Bank in the description of this video. And by the way, I also need to let you know that Canada recently made a provision for those with visitor visas to be able to adjust their status legally. So if you have a visitor visa to Canada and you intend to travel before February 2023, you can legally adjust your status from a visitor visa to a work permit. Or if you know anybody in Canada, be it a friend or a former colleague or a relative in Canada that has a visitor visa or even a study permit and wants to convert or adjust their status to work permit, they can do that. But the deadline is February 2023. So you can do more research on that and take advantage of that opportunity. So the first step, like I said, is to prepare your resume in Canadian style. Then second is search actively in the job boards for job offers. The third is when you are selected, your employer will apply for an LMIA for you. That is the labor market impact assessment. Now, the fourth step is after securing your LMIA, your employer proceeds to issue you a job offer letter. So when you have your LMIA and you have a job offer letter, then you can apply to Immigrations, Refugees and Citizenship Canada IRCC for your work permit. Of course, you need to be aware that work permit applications take quite a number of time, a number of months. The minimum duration for a work permit application is within the range of 5 to 6 months, or about 6 months thereabout. So you need to bear that in mind. So with your job offer letter and LMIA, the fifth thing you do, you can apply to CIC for a work permit. Now 6, if your work permit is approved, you can then proceed in Canada. Now don't forget, a work permit in Canada is a pathway to permanent residence, but you must work for minimum 1 year. You must work for at least 1 year in Canada, and then when you get a job in Canada, you must work with that employer for 1 year. If you decide to leave that employment, then that work permit is automatically cancelled. You can only get another work permit when you get another employer, and that employer also files for LMIA for you. So if you want to go through that route, then you must be prepared to work for a minimum of 1 year with that employer before you begin to think of filing for your PR. And if you need to file for your PR, of course, you know that you have to go through licensed immigration attorneys in Canada who can file for you. So I believe I've been able to take you through the steps of how you can get a work permit in Canada through your job offer. Like I said, first is you prepare your resume in Canadian style, you put it together, and then you begin to search actively in the job boards for job offers. The third step is when you are selected, your employer will apply for an LMIA for you. Remember, you're not meant to pay for an LMIA. Your employer will apply and file your application for an LMIA on your behalf. Number 4, after securing your LMIA, your employer proceeds to issue you a job offer letter. With your job offer letter, number 5, and your LMIA, you can apply to CIC for your work permit. Number 6, if your work permit is approved, you can then proceed to Canada. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it has helped you. I hope it has impacted your knowledge level about Canadian immigration. So share this video. Let it be of help to somebody who is thinking of going to Canada. This is going to help them. If you've enjoyed this video, like I said, like, subscribe, and share. If you need visa advice, feel free to DM me on WhatsApp. The link is in the description to this video. And if there's any type of visa you want me to talk about, post about it in the comment section. And if I have enough comments, I'll do a video around that visa next time. Till I come your way again, keep winning.